What's going on, everybody? It's time once again for another movie review. And today's movie is a movie I've been waiting for quite some time, and it's finally out. And I thought it was supposed to be out in the end of the month, but actually beginning of the month. And the movie I'm talking about is The Avengers. I'll give you a brief synopsis of the film. The Avengers is what it is. It's an assembly of superheroes assembled to take down a big threat. The big threat being Loki. If you guys don't know who Loki is actually Thor's brother. If you've seen the movie Thor, he's a big prominent role in there because he's the villain. Favorites, you got Captain America, you got Iron Man, you have Thor, you have the Hulk, and of course minor roles of Nick Fury, the Black Widow, and Hawkeye. Let me just get right into it. This movie was directed by Joss Whedon. If you guys don't know who Joss Whedon is, he is the man behind such favorites as Buffy, Dollhouse, Firefly. They filmed Serenity based off the TV series Firefly. And what I didn't know about this, he actually wrote the screenplay for Toy Story, the original Toy Story, which I was surprised by. His directing in this movie was spectacular. It was something I didn't expect. Normally with Joss Whedon stuff, he has a very dominant female character in his stuff. Look at Buffy, you look at all the movies he's done, or the TV series he's done. They have a large, prominent female character, in which Black Widow was not a large character in this movie. And she wasn't a strong one either, which surprised me. And the fact that he made this, because he wrote this too, which was surprising to me too, he actually made it funny and actually work. From the directing standpoint, it was really phenomenal, and I applaud him for it, for stepping out of his somewhat comfort zone and doing a superhero movie. Now let's get into the acting. The acting was pretty decent. You have all the main stars reprising their roles. You know, Chris Evans as Captain America, Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, Iron Man, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Scarlett Johansson as the Black Widow, Samuel Jackson as Nick Fury, and a couple newcomers, Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye, which I was surprised that they went with a Hawkeye character, but he did an okay job. It was a very small role. And Mark Ruffalo as the third iteration of the Hulk. Granted, you've had Eric Bana play Bruce Banner, and you've had Edward Norton play Bruce Banner, and now it's Mark Ruffalo's turn. And I was surprised at the way Mark Ruffalo brought his stamp to the Bruce Banner character. I mean, Edward Norton did a very good job, but the whole thing he had with Marvel, and Marvel just basically kick him to the curb, kind of sucks, but Mark Ruffalo did a better job than Eric Bana. The acting on that front was actually pretty good. As an ensemble, it worked. Normally when you have a whole bunch of stars and you group them together, it does not work at all. On very rare occasions, you know, like you get your Ocean's movies, it works. The cinematography was actually pretty good, you know, nothing too jarring. There were a couple of cool shots that they did. One was like a continuous shot during the whole rampage they have in the city. There's probably a couple cuts in there, but it was masterfully done. And then a couple of shots of like Dutch angles, which weren't that bad. Some of the camera work they did kind of remind me of Michael Bay a little bit when they did all the action stuff, like putting cameras in the cars and then having the cars flip, and then the camera showing like a perspective. It was okay. Production design was amazing. To recreate like the whole shield hovercraft, that was like an aircraft splash. It kind of floats in the air. Was amazing. That whole set was just awesome. The whole Stark Tower set that they did was pretty amazing too. Editing in this film didn't slow down the pace at all. It was actually pretty good. It was kind of lengthy for it being a superhero movie, but to get everybody caught up to speed per se on all the backstory, it didn't slow it down whatsoever, and it actually made it entertaining, especially when you got to the climax in the movie, which was the big fight scene at the end, which was pretty cool. And then, of course, I got to talk about the costume design. The costumes of all the characters was actually pretty good. Of course, the Iron Man suit really never changes from the past movies. It's pretty much all the same. They just bring up other versions, but nothing really changes to the suit. The change from the Captain America from his movie to the Avengers, I kind of was a little disappointed because it did look like a Halloween costume. But you know what? It's what you get when you do a comic book movie. It kind of looks like they were wearing tights, but you know, that's what you get. Of course, everybody wanted to see Scarlett Johansson in the Black Widow costume because she has an awesome body and did not disappoint. And then Thor's costume was really good. You know, kind of reminded me of the Thor costume in his movie, but they did change it up a little bit. Overall, we give this film a 4.5 out of 5. It was really good. It was really executed very well. The only drawbacks is some of the character development kind of was stagnant because you have all these personas in one movie. It's kind of hard to get them to tell a story all together. It's still a good movie, and there's going to be many sequels to this. But in terms of the other movies that are coming out, The Amazing Spider-Man and The Dark Knight Rises, you can't go wrong with Christopher Nolan and The Dark Knight Rises. You know that that story is going to be amazing, and he and Wally Pfister are going to come up with some amazing shots. I may be biased because I love movies that make you think, and if you look at the past two Dark Knight movies, Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, they had underlying themes underneath them that you think to yourself, wow, I never thought about that. That's the thing with Nolan movies, he makes you think. But let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. Some of my film school friends say they love this movie and they think that The Dark Knight's gonna be disappointing because it is the final movie. But you know what? Nolan is gonna call it a bang. It is his last Batman movie, and I hope he does get an Oscar because Peter Jackson got an Oscar for doing those Lord of the Rings movies, and the third one he did get an Oscar for. So I know that Nolan's gonna pull it out and he's gonna win an Oscar for it. Yeah, that's all I had to say. So that's gonna do it for this movie review. Before I forget, I was supposed to do a DVD review, but I did not pick anything up because there really is nothing else out there right now. So what I'll do is I'll link back to the Blu-ray haul that I did about 2 weeks ago. I'll put a link down there of all the movies I picked up. I haven't opened most of those yet, but I've seen them already. So just link to that. Next time I do a movie review, I will have a DVD for you. I've also been busy playing Red Dead Redemption and Assassin's Creed Revelations, and also picked up Back to the Future based on the movies. You can't go wrong with that game. But that's gonna do it. I will see you guys next time for another movie.